Hello, awakened beings. Welcome to this channel. Here I do tarot and oracle readings to support you along your spiritual journey. If that interests you, feel free to check out any other content on the channel and and interact with this video as you feel called to. All right, so this reading is for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising, February 2026 predictions. Let's go. Spirit just showed me somebody, this is for somebody in particular or maybe in general, but Spirit just showed me somebody, how do I describe this? It's like there's a crowd of people, but then they open up for one person to run through, and this person is running through and like smacking people's hands. You like see it in like sports or like, I don't know, maybe like in WWE or something where they're coming down and they're high-fiving people and stuff, and then they like get to business, so like making an entrance. Okay, so yeah, that could be more of a general message of like, I feel like in February 2026 you're making some sort of entrance to something and people are supporting you, cheering you on, you're feeling hype, you're feeding off of each other's energy, you're amped up, but it just feels like you're being acknowledged, appreciated, amped up, and you're going through on a path somewhere to do something that you're skilled at or that you enjoy doing, or I don't know what it is, but yeah. Okay, anyways. Whoa. Okay, one. It's interesting you got the Knight of Needles as these cards have started to flip around. So something could be happening very quickly. Change of plans. Okay. I feel like you're speaking more. Could involve like you're speaking more about your ideas, or manifesting. How can I word this? Yeah, you're speaking more in alignment of how you want your life to be. It's almost like you've accepted that the past is completed and now you're facing forward and speaking more towards the future, if that makes sense. So it's like you're looking at the next idea and what can happen next, and you're looking at ways to align with that, I guess. Okay. So that's what I was getting from the Knight of Needles. We have the Seven of Presents, and this is a card. I normally say it's a card of progression, but I do feel in this instance is like you put in the work for something and you're evaluating, I guess, like how it can be better, how you can make changes to it, how you can perfect it. If you need to change the wrapping, how's the color scheme going? So I feel like you're making tweaks to something in particular. Okay. But I feel like these tweaks that you're making are to adjust it to like a new version of you. Because it's like you've been doing something a certain way and it's, it's been good and all that, but you're pausing to be like, okay, well, I'm looking towards the future. This is how I want to be. This is how I see myself. So let me make these adjustments now to align with what I want my future to look like. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you recognize that, and in order for things to look how you want them to look, you need to make changes. And so you're starting to do that, essentially, is what I'm getting. And I feel like you're making these changes right away, which is good. Like you're not delaying. You just kind of are like, I've got this idea. Let me set a goal for this. Let me tweak this and that, and this will help me get towards my goal in X amount of time. So I feel like, yeah, you're trying to move quickly and do things quickly. Okay, King of Needles. What do we got? You're getting a lot of ideas around this time. Okay, a lot of ideas that revolve around your thinking space and your communication. So you could be writing a lot more in the month of February. Writing to expand upon a certain idea. Okay. Could be like blogging as well. So you could be doing like stories, poetry, blogging, journaling. But I just feel like you are in your element. Honestly, you're utilizing the air element a lot in the month of February. Let's elaborate more on that, please, King of Needles. But I do feel like, hold on, because we go from the Knight of Needles to the King. And so this tells me that you're doing some sort of maturing. And so, like, you have an idea that comes in fast, right? And then you get started on it, but it's like in the beginning stage. But as you go into the King of Needles, it seems to be more well thought out, more put together. And so, like I said, this could be you starting on a book or some sort of story or just writing something. And it starts out as like this seed, and then you develop it more with like a wider perspective, and you're considering your audience, you're considering how to publish it, or you know, what kind of things you want to include in it or whatever. So yeah, you go from Knight to King, and I really love that for you. Okay. Go ahead and clarify some more. The needles here. Completion. Completion. I honestly feel like this is more so like a past idea that you're wanting to pick up again and nurture to completion. But I do feel like something has run its course. So for some of you, something has run its course and you're, closing that out and starting something new. And then for some of you, I feel like it's something you've already been working on that you're just kind of picking up, tweaking, and making it more full. Okay, so I feel like some Libras, or the Libras watching here, are at different stages in the same cycle. Okay, but ultimately, King of Needles is very present in terms of like how developed this idea is. Okay. Okay. Queen of Presents, what you got for us? I do feel like you're focused on your health a lot at this time. You're focused on what you're eating. You're focused on your home, what kind of energy your home is giving. Okay, so you're definitely in the home element as well in the month of February, in terms of, like I said, the energy that's in you, your space that you're giving out, but also just health wise. I feel like you're focusing a lot more on that, but I also feel like you're happy about it. You could be trying new foods. You could be cooking more at home, less eating out. You could be trying to, or baking more, something like that. But you could also be taking care of a person. And when I say taking care of, take that how it resonates, because you could literally be taking care of somebody who's like sick or something. You could be caregiving for work. But the main way that I'm getting this is more so that just being more of a mothering energy of like more of a nurturing in the home. So nurturing your body, nurturing your spirit, nurturing the energy in your home or somebody else's home that you're spending time with. Okay. Cleaning things up, clearing things out. Well, Spirit just said you could be like the bread and butter. Spirit said bread and butter. Bread and butter. And that to me says that you are like a partner. You could be a partner to somebody else and like helping them to eat better, or help them clean up their space, help them release. So I feel like you could be working on that for yourself, but you could also be a support person to somebody else. Like the person's the bread and you're the butter, something something like that. That's what I feel Spirit was saying. um okay, what else? Queen of Presents. If you're learning to cook, if you're learning to cook or cooking more at home, trying a new recipe, just make sure that you're being mindful of. I'm being drawn to the smoke. Okay, so, being mindful of what's going to set off your smoke alarm. Just respectfully, that's just what I picked up on, okay? You could be setting off the smoke alarm if you're trying something without being fully present or following the instructions, or you know I just see that for somebody. And that's not a bad thing, as long as you have it under control, so just be careful. That's all I'm saying. All right, anything else? Prayer. Making lemonade out of lemons. Taking something and flipping it. Okay, so for some of you, you could be redecorating. You could be redecorating, or you could be trying to fix something up that has to do with a home. Okay. But it also goes back to, like I said, the body as well. So, you could be drinking more lemon water or fruits in your water, more water. You could be spending more time in nature, out of the city. So I just feel like a change in scenery in February 26th could be helpful for, like your mental and spiritual health, your physical health, like your health in general. So you could be, going on hikes, or just traveling, drinking more water and fruits, things like that. Okay. But I do see, like, for some of you Libras, you could have a project where you're fixing up something that is like broken or dirty or flipped. Flipped. Okay. So let's go ahead and give you one final message here. Okay. Some of you are going to be dancing. And there's different kind of dances. I'm not going to dive into it, but I was just drawn to like the Santa costume. So I do feel like some of you could be dressing up as far as like having fun, like party wise, or like with a partner. But I don't know, I'm getting maybe a little freaky deek, but I'm gonna leave that there. Okay. Last card for Libra here. Loneliness. When you stop fearing your aloneness, you stop settling for less than you deserve. May I embrace and love my solitude, and that's when kindred spirits can finally come. Okay. Some of you with this completion card, you could be letting go of somebody, letting go of a connection, and then finding another one with this Queen of Presents. So honestly, if you're releasing a person, you could have another person coming right in, like within 2 weeks, I feel like, for maybe one person in particular. Okay, anything else? I do feel like you could be thinking about a loved one, someone who passed away, a family member or something like that. It could be their birthday or an anniversary of their passing, something like that. I do feel like that could be coming up for you. And you might be somebody who honors them by like cooking their favorite food or something like that, and honoring them that way. You could be traveling to visit, a place that you grew up or a place that they lived, or, visiting family, something like that. I do feel like, yeah, the energy of a loved one here. Okay. All right. Well, I didn't mean to leave on that note, but yeah, that one came out real quick. Okay. So thank you for tuning in, Libra. Good luck on your journey. Take care.